So unfortunately, I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned, something which later on in court, anything you do say may be used as evidence. All right. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
Officer, I am a judge in my country. I even have an immunity. Will you keep quiet? Were you not informed? This woman, she didn't know where she is or where she was at that point in time. She has an immunity for UK. Did you not ask questions? Let's go on.
I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy if you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
She's still the blab. I have a diplomatic passport. I have a diplomatic what? Even Senator Ike mother had a diplomatic passport. Don't worry, when you get to the prison, our Senator Ike mother would explain to you better. You don't shell it again. This is an African UN judge. In the UK, she came to UK to study PhD. And she brought in a help, a woman in her home country, Uganda precisely. You could hear her when she said, "Officer, I'm a judge in my country. I have immunity. You have immunity in the UK. Wait, so that you can be seeing me very well." She did not ask question before she came. Principal, because she was not informed. Guess how many years they sentenced her? 6 long years. 6 years and 4 months with her immunity and her judge. She will go to the prison to judge herself. She brought in a woman from her home country and kept her to be working for her as a slave. This thing might not have happened in this way, but by the time these people will judge you in the court, anyway, she should have known better as a lawyer, not just an ordinary lawyer, but a judge. She didn't need anybody to tell her. She shouldn't be informed about the consequences. She was apparently aware of it, just like it was concluded. The judge that also judged the judge stated that she was 100% aware of the consequences of her actions as a lawyer, and she has the uttermost power. She forced this woman to come down here. Like she claimed that the woman was originally working for her in her home country, Uganda, and the woman begged her to bring her over to the UK. Wait, I will give you the details. Anyway, to continue the story, this lady here, she's called Lydia. She's a 50-year-old Ugandan judge. From what the BBC published, she came to the UK to study her PhD in law to top up. On top of the knowledge she already has as a lawyer, she wants to, add more to it. She was actually studying at the University of Oxford. Police later discovered she had a young Ugandan lady who worked for her as a maid and nanny in her home. And she was carrying out an unpaid job. You know the way we are in Africa. In Africa, most of us, we don't pay our living nannies. We don't pay our living helps. And it's so normal to the extent that whenever the family is going out, maybe the family has 2-3 children. When you look around, you will know that this one is maid. Whether the maid or the help is an elderly person, you don't need anybody to tell you. This one, they no born and when a maid. They vomited that person from the mouth, not through the same pattern they usually give birth. It is usually very glaring to the blind person to see. So, this is our lawyer, Lydia Mugambe, thought that this place in Africa, you bring somebody here. Probably when this lady was working for her in Africa, Uganda precisely, she was paying her, but you know what it is. You cannot be paying somebody 100,000 Nigerian naira while the person was teaching your child in the UK. living in Nigeria and the person finally moved to the United Kingdom, you can't keep on paying the person that same amount because exchange rate, cost of living, everything varies in abroad. Therefore, you have to top up, isn't it? Yes, 1 hour per lesson here. 1 hour English lesson is £30. I've paid that before, which is 60,000 Nigerian naira. You know, so this is a lot of stuff we should consider when bringing somebody to start helping us at home here. The person will definitely understand what is going on in Obodo Oyibo and remember the expectations of African back home. Once you have moved here, they expected you to be sending them money, blah, blah, blah. Whereby the person is not getting the money to be sending to her relatives, her family, her children back home. What will happen? She will go and talk. Somebody will come and show her the way, even if she doesn't know her rights and her left. Let's go on. So this Mugambe judge, this lady here, she was also a high court judge in Uganda. She was jailed at Oxford Crown Court on Friday after she was found guilty of modern-day slavery offenses in March, just last month. In sentencing her, the judge in charge told her that she showed absolutely no remorse for her actions, and she had looked to forcibly blame the victim for what happened. You see to that, when she claimed that she was working for me in Africa, she was the one that begged me to bring her over. They used that against her to judge her. Even if she begged you to bring her over, did she also beg you not to be paying her a reasonable amount? Because I don't believe that she was not paying her. She may have been giving her something. Though, guess what? This our anti-lawyer judge, she forcefully arranged a visa for the woman, but it stipulated she would be paid to work as a private servant at the diplomatic residence of John Mugambe, whatever, another Mugambe. This is a different person. Uganda's former deputy high commissioner, based at the country's embassy in London. Hey, these people, they were given a better place in London. You know, unfortunately, she ended up not working for that man. But then, for this particular female judge, Judge Mugambe, guys, they actually use this lady as a trade by barter. This Judge Mugambe and another judge called, I think they like this, they are Mugawa. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrongly. Mr. Mugawa was the person that sponsored the victim's visa, knowing that she would actually work in servitude for Mugambe. Why did he do that? They said this was in return so that Mugambe would provide him assistance in relation to a separate court case in Uganda in which he was the defendant. The court was told. So they use the girl, they do trade by better. You know, as if this say you don't bring this girl, come now. And when we go back to Uganda, you will defend me in that my law case I get. When I see the business they use the girl do, so that the girl will come and work herself out. You see, that man paid, Mr. Mugawa actually paid the sponsorship visa for the girl so that the girl could come work in the house of this Mugambe. Our African people don't really understand how Oyibo people carry out their investigation. So Mugambe was the one that paid for the victim's flight and picked her up from the airport, but the young woman then became a slave at the judge's home in Oxfordshire. Mr. Faustin, which is the judge handling this case, described it as very sad case as he outlines Mugambe's legal accomplishments, including her work in the protection of human rights. You see, our dear Judge Mugambe has actually been a human rights activist, fighting for human rights, and how come she sidelined this kind of a thing? It's sad, you know. One small sin. This one, is it actually a small sin? Bringing somebody, underpaying the person or not paying. Because here they claim that the person was working in servitude, not being paid. But me, I'm actually saying underpaying the person because apparently she must be giving her something, you know, but possibly not enough as it should be. So imagine, the woman was actually described as living in a total fear because of Mugambe's powerful standing in Uganda. You can imagine working for a high judge, a judge in your country. Oh, more you got a fear now. How can you even speak to that woman, you know, being a judge in your home country? They said the woman, who cannot be named for legal reasons, said she can't go back to Uganda due to the fear of what may happen to her, and added that she may never see her mother again. Can you imagine? I don't blame her, because going back to Africa, you remember the case of Ike mother and that boy. That boy did not go back to Nigeria, I suppose, because you know what will happen to him back home. So definitely they wouldn't let this woman go back. I think they're going to provide her with all the support she needed. So they further claimed that Mugambe exploited her victim by taking advantage of her lack of knowledge about employment rights and misleading her about why she came to the UK. You see, maybe that wasn't clear at first. Who knows what she told her first before she was able to bring her to the UK, you know. And guess what? Our Judge Mugambe actually denied forcing the young Ugandan woman to do her chores, and said she always treated her with love, care, and patience. This is what we always claim, all of us. I don't follow because I never had a man or a house help. If you know yourself, if you have claimed something like this, this is how we keep on. On this YouTube, I've watched a lady. She bought a tablet for her children, 2 children, and she has a help. The same age, almost the same age with her children. She gifted her child the ABC. In the comment section, me, I ask, what about that your help? You did not give her a tablet. I mean, she don't need a tablet. Me, I'm a troublemaker. But it's really bad. It's really, really bad, you know. So, modern day slavery is underreported crime, and I hope that the bravery of the victim in this case encourages other victims of modern slavery to come forward, he said. If you are brought to the UK, and you are working as a slave, please, they want you to speak up. Definitely they will stand for you and protect you. You know, it is really bad. It is really bad bringing somebody from Africa to your home. You keep the person at home and you are underpaying that person. That is bad. Now, her university, which is the University of Oxford, said that the university was surprised at the students' crime. Unfortunately, not even an ordinary student. So they said they are, you know, carrying out a measure in order to remove the student, which is termination of her program. Sad story, isn't it? Imagine how far this woman had come from being a judge in her country to the UN judge, you know, UN, United Nations judge, and now she's gone to the prison for 6 years, 4 months over this kind of crime. Ekwere mother is serving for 9 years. 9 years, a couple of months. They usually put Jara on top of the years. So this woman's only 6 years. You know, and the doctor, remember the doctor that stood as a middleman in the case of Ekwere Madus here in the UK. The doctor was also sentenced for 1 year behind. Possibly his license must have been revoked for doing something like that. So if you are being an accomplice for any rubbish in this country, one day the thing go below. I was once asked to claim that I will be working in London for somebody and collecting money and giving to the family. I say, having lived in this country, this is my second missionary journey. One day they will find you. It is not possible. I live in the northeast of England. How can I claim that I work in London, whereas my bank and I was working then. That was when I was doing my 21 hours a week, 2 days a week. You know, they said, no, they don't want me to come there and be working in London. No, but I should just put it that I usually come when I'm off work, so that they will be paying the money into my account. When they pay, I will collect the money and give to them. I say, Then I wasn't even up to 1 year in the UK in this my second missionary journey. I say, in this UK that I've lived before, when I was a student, somebody wanted me to do Yahoo. Say, once they transfer the money into my account, I will just go bring it out to carry, give them. They will give me my own shit. We went to Banco in London as well. That London and crime. Willie Chasina precisely. They used my ID card. They want to open all the whole. If you see me in that bank, I'm sure that camera was capturing my exposition, a bit body language. I was so afraid. Immediately I came out, I told the guy, I said, I'm not going to do this. I even called my brother that was paying my school fees. I said, brother, This thing, not be Yahoo, where this man want make I do. My brother say make I run. I came back. I said, whatever you are doing in this Obodo Yibo, you think that they are not seeing you. One day the thing will blow. The worst is bringing somebody for. It is hard to bring a maid into this country. It is very, very difficult to bring a maid. Be it an underage, somebody who is less. In fact, the worst one is to bring an underaged person, a child who is less than 18, you know. And when you bring in an adult who has done everything, the person would know the conversion rate, that £1 is equivalent to 2,000. And you are still paying the person the same 10,000 naira. Okay, for instance, you are still paying the person the same 30,000. You were paying him in your home country, Nigeria, or I don't know what currency Uganda they use. You are still paying that person that amount. Does the person not have a phone? Does the person not go on social media? Does the person not have anybody that comes? You know, people that are living in the diplomatic residence, definitely there will be other diplomatic, maybe maids or workers there from Africa talking to them. And they expose you one day. So it's such a shame anyway. I felt really sad for her, considering what she had accomplished in life in the past. And she raising her voice, claiming that she's a judge in her home country, meaning, do you know who I am? I be Giorgio, and I get immunity. Immunity. Unfortunately, the immunity did not cover her in this part of the world. The immunity was unimmune, and it left her. She became vulnerable as to going to the prison for 6 years, 4 months in a foreign land, a judge, and she's 50. So by the time she would be out, she would have been 56. What becomes of her career? Everything crumbled. Definitely she's gonna go back home. Everything goes in Africa anyway. She can still be a judge. By the time Ekwere Madu comes out, he's serving 9 years. That was in 2023 that he was sentenced. So it's just gone about less than 2 years, or possibly 2 years, depending on the month. He was sentenced in 2023. 9 years. Hey! Ekwere Madu. Hey! God no go let us go to prison in this foreign land. Guys, I am done for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel. I keep coming back for more. Do not do what is not clear to you. Whatever you don't understand, ask questions before you dabble into it. Nobody is above the law in the United Kingdom. Even their PM, whenever they fuck up, some of them can even resign on their own. Some of them Rishi Sunak, you remember when he had this traffic rule of not wearing his seat belt while driving? He was fined for that. PM, he was still in power not to put in on seat belt. Was he driving or somebody was even carrying him? This country don't get respect for anybody. Guys, this is it for this content. Please like my video. I beg you once again, like my video now and subscribe if you haven't. Bye!